Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Black Health and Wealth Show. I am your host, Kevin Boyette, and today we're going to be talking about the egg cholesterol myth. The reason why I was so adamant about doing this segment is because there's so many viewers out there, friends, family members that are on these drugs known as statins. Statins are drugs such as Lipitor. These drugs have a tendency to cause side effects such as type 2 diabetes or the ability not to be able to go out into the sun to absorb vitamin D, which is something that the body desperately needs. And these doctors are force feeding these things on their patients, because it can lower cholesterol levels. But the main reason why they're doing that is because of the almighty dollar. It's all about the Benjamins. So let's talk about cholesterol for a moment. Cholesterol is associated in most people's minds with strokes and heart attacks. But the fact of the matter is that the cholesterol is very, very important. It acts as a sheath around nerve endings, and it's also part of the cell membrane. Cholesterol is also necessary for the production of adrenal glands, and it's also needed for the production of sexual hormones such as testosterone and estrogen. It's made into bile in the liver and can actually act as an antioxidant for other cells. Now, the simplified view of cholesterol is that there's two types, HDL and LDL. HDL is known as good cholesterol, while LDL is known as your bad cholesterol. And that's what your doctors will tell you. You got to raise up your HDL, lower down your LDL, and that's why they give you those drugs. Now, the fact of the matter is that it's not that simple. LDL is actually broken down into two smaller segments. You have what's called your small dense and your large buoyant. Okay? Now, the small dense, as represented by these BBs, are the only ones that are associated with heart disease. They can also damage your blood vessels, whereas the large buoyant are benign and may even protect against heart disease. Replacing saturated fats with carbohydrates, which has been recommended for decades by the American Heart Association, actually reduces your HDL and increases the small dense LDL. Both of these are a risk for heart disease. Now let's talk about these, things that you're replacing with, your cooking. Some of you, I'm sure, use Crisco, okay, vegetable oil. If you actually look at this, it's got the vegetables all on the front and it's looking, like it's something that might be healthy for you. But if you actually turn this thing around and read the ingredients, there's only one ingredient in this thing, and that is soybean oil, which is not good for you. The only type of soy that is actually good for you is what's known as fermented soy. Okay, let's take a look at your Pam cooking spray. Okay, now what's funny about this is that directions say point the nozzle towards the red mark on the can, shake it well, keep the can upright 8 inches from unheated cook or bakeware. Okay, but here's the trick. When you look at the nutritional facts, serving size, a 1/4 second spray. I don't know about any of you, but I can't spray for a 1/4 second. And you can tell me whether a 1/4 second spray is going to cover your pan that you're using. It's going to cover your waffle iron. So, your baking dish that you're using. So I think a 1/4 spray is something like that. Okay. So for a 1/4 second. So is that enough? No. A lot of you out there may even use extra virgin olive oil. Okay? Here's what you need to know about extra virgin olive oil when you're buying olive oil. If you go on Google and you look up olive oil scams, there's actually an article from last year that talks about the scam with olive oil. Olive oil should have a expiration date on it, on the back, and it should also have, if you're really getting really good olive oil, it should have a harvest date. You want the harvest date to be, you want the 2 years is how long olive oil lasts. It's good for 2 years. You want your harvest date to be close to your expiration date. You want the harvest date to be as close to your expiration date as possible. Also, it's actually not a lot of real extra virgin olive oil in these olive oils that you buy in the store. When you have real olive oil, it should have a peppery taste to it. It should make your eyes water. It should make you cough. Those kinds of things. What I recommend, good old-fashioned butter. Okay? When you're cooking your eggs, use butter. You can use what's known as ghee. Ghee is found in Middle Eastern restaurants, Indian restaurants. You can find it in their stores. Also, I highly recommend using coconut oil. Okay? Now, let's talk about our eggs. Okay? Eggs are remarkable. They have everything that they need in them to make a chicken. They contain all types of protein and other vitamins and nutrients that the body needs. But after years and years and years of bad publicity, it has now come back to, people need to eat eggs. But the question is, how many eggs should I be eating? Some people say that, it's kind of agreed upon in the medical circles that having up to 3 eggs a day is good for you. Now, one thing that you need to know about these eggs is that eggs increase your HDL. Consumption of eggs increases your HDL. There's a story about an 88-year-old man, the story was reported on in 1991, who consumed 25 to 30 soft-boiled eggs a day. No adverse effects. Cholesterol levels were normal. I say that again. No adverse effects. Cholesterol levels normal. So, if you want your testosterone levels to go up, you want your HDL level to go up, I recommend fixing yourself some eggs ASAP. I'm about to go have mine. Peace and love, people. Remember, the Black Health and Wealth Show is here to educate, inspire, and uplift. And I'll see you on the next segment.